Hi everyone, and welcome to another conversation about a game. And this time we have, what is it, Yakuza 6?
Yes, I believe it's technically the 8th or ninth title in the series because we had Dead Souls and we had that Samurai spin-off, but
And
yeah.
Yakuza 0 as well.
But if you spread the line of the main series, Zero was in 1988. This one's in 2016.
Yeah, and Kiwami was a remake of the first game, wasn't it?
Yeah, they're doing the second one as well, so hopefully they work their way through the whole ones because I will have them all because I adore this series. So a little bit of a caveat before this review starts. I'm a bit biased, unfortunately, so it is what it is, and I'll just get it out there.
If you want to know how biased, we have actually done another conversation about a Yakuza game, so check that one out and you'll find out just how biased he is.
Yes. The thing about Yakuza, right? Before I get into the story or anything like that, there's one thing for a long time that you had to come to terms with, and it's the fact that it was basically operating on a model of a game which was from the PlayStation 2 era.
Well, it was slightly was it slightly before the PlayStation 2 era? The Dreamcast was kind of in that gap between the PS1 and the PS2.
It was like a PS2 engine game. It wasn't the best looking. It wasn't the most complicated.
Yeah,
but fans of it just loved it for what it is, you know.
Yeah.
Regardless of its foibles and its limitations, it was just one of these titles which really connects with you. I mean, once you're into its way of doing things, you'll basically forgive it for doing anything, you know, which is why, even though it has all those titles, I loved each of them just as much as the last, even though if you looked at it like a critic of video games, you'd think this is just bad.
Yeah. Well, thing is, the game that all Yakuza games are based on is Shenmue 1 and 2. That's where the engine comes from.
I played the first one, liked it, but it just disappeared, so I wanted something else. Yakuza popped up and basically instantly got my affections, and I fell head over heels in love with it.
The thing is, Yakuza is kind of... See, I always look at it this way. Was it Ryo Hazaki? Was it in Shenmue? I can't remember. Ryo from Shenmue.
It's a long time ago. Shenmue.
But the main character in Shenmue is called Ryo, and I always looked at Yakuza as a what if Ryo had kind of gone on a bit of a bender with his revenge trip, and this is where he ended up. So kind of Kazuma Kiryu. Or Kiryu Kazuma, or whatever his name is, he's kind of what Ryo could have become in the future.
Potentially, if he went to the gym and added about 6 inches to his height. But yeah,
well,
potentially.
The thing is, he was only a teenager in Shenmue, wasn't he?
Yeah, fair. But let's get to this one. All right, story for what it's worth.
Yeah.
Just before that, when the game starts, there's this menu option where it's got memories, so if you haven't played the other ones, because these are sort of very interlinked in the way they tell their stories, so there's like callbacks to the games in the series,
which is actually ironically something that Shenmue introduced.
I imagine so. Nothing's original, but story, right, it takes place after Yakuza 5, funnily enough. Haruka, the adorable girl who he's basically become a father figure to, voiced by Kagamiya Rie. Have I got that name right?
Kagamiya Rie. Okay, you know you like Gintama.
Yeah, I know who she is. I was just trying to pronounce it.
She's the one who plays Kagura in Gintama.
She is an idol. She gives up the idol way because she's presented with a choice of, do I continue being an idol, or do I acknowledge the fact that Kiryu Kazuma is basically my dad and I love him very much and I want to spend my time with him, not isolate him and removing from my world. That's like the underpinning to the beginning of the story. So in Yakuza 6, it starts with Kazuma going to prison again. For 4 years, I believe it was in the first one. He went in for 10 years because he took the blame for a murder of somebody else. So in the series of the games, he's been in prison for basically, well, a long time. Cut it straight and simple. But he goes in prison, he comes out, and he finds that Haruka has gone missing. And a lot of gang warfare has happened in Kamurocho while he's been gone. Gangs have became more prominent, became less prominent. The Chinese triads have moved in. There's all the gang war. There's always a gang war in this thing.
Yeah.
But all that Kiryu Kazuma cares about is finding Haruka. A story which takes him to around the Japanese suburb. It takes him to Hiroshima, to a place called Onomichi.
Yeah.
And at the pin of it all is the fact that something happens to Haruka, and she has a kid called Haruto, and it's one of the most adorable things that's just ever happened in a Yakuza game, where it's got a Kiryu trying to look after a baby, and it's just adorable and very funny. I'm not going to go too much into the story because the series is basically like the best soap opera that's ever existed, and it's all broken up into chapters.
Yeah.
So it does work in a very episode-like way for what a soap opera would be.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to go there any further in the story. Like I said, yeah. I want to ask you a question now, Rob.
Yeah.
If I said the word side stories to you, one, is that a good thing? And two, what's the best game that you can think of that did side stories? Keeping it brief, of course.
Side stories can be a good thing. It depends on their usage. It's one of those weird things because side stories. Everyone thinks side stories and side quests are the same thing. They're not. Right. Side quests are something that are related to side stories, but a side story is just a narrative that happens to run alongside the main narrative.
That's the way that Yakuza frames it. They are side missions, but they're described as side stories.
Yeah. And the thing is, the main purpose of those missions, especially in games like Shenmue and Yakuza and stuff like that, because these side stories happen in Shenmue as well, and they happen in other RPGs. They've happened in games like The Witcher, and they've happened in various Final Fantasy games, in various other JRPGs. I'm trying
rule of thumb, though.
The rule of thumb is basically padding. The rule of thumb is extending the game time because the actual main campaign from the game is too short.
Yeah. In the case of Yakuza, though, I believe this is the best use of the side mission structure in video games. Very hyperbolic, I know, but I want to draw your attention to two.
Okay.
While you're in Kamurocho, you meet a guy outside of I think it was a betting shop or something like that, or an arcade, one of the two. And he says, I want to install this bit of software on your phone. AI, if you want. It's called Hiji. And what it does, it basically tells this little story where you get this AI which basically wants to protect itself and gets you into scrapes, to interact with other Hiji users. And it basically has this little neat but very quick satire on phones being a bit too powerful and us relying on them a bit too much.
See, that's smart. I like that.
Which is very clever. And the other one is hilarious. You're in Onomichi, which is the little town in Hiroshima.
Yeah.
And you happen upon this big ball in the middle of the street. And it's a mascot head. The character is called Onomichi. And because you need to be a big character to fit inside that, the story's like, yeah, obviously, I'm going to have to go in that. So it has this massive Yakuza put on this ridiculous child's mascot outfit, and he has to perform for children. And you can choose to do it sort of matter of fact or go really passionate about it. So I went passionate about it, obviously. And it's just so funny, It's so very funny. I could pluck hundreds of examples of this, but I'm talking about the funny.
See, you mentioned...
Takashi Kitano's in this.
Is he?
Yeah. If you don't know him, big Takashi. Takashi's Castle.
Yeah, he was one of the Two Beats as well. The Two Beats, which was a comedy duo.
He was in Johnny Mnemonic. He was in Johnny Mnemonic. He was in Ghost in the Shell. You know him if you don't know his name.
And he's done quite a few movies as a serious actor as well, stuff like Violent Cop and Boiling Point and stuff like that.
Yeah. But in this, he's introduced as an elderly Yakuza who's living off insurance, and the first time you see him, he's eating ice cream. So he can take this very serious world of gangsters and gang war and violence and all this sort of stuff, and it has this very fun sense of humour running throughout it.
Can I just jump in there, right? I have actually seen Takeshi Kitano eating an ice cream cone before, and there is something quite magical about it, about seeing this, this dour, stoic-faced, older Japanese man just casually licking an ice cream cone.
Yeah, and the game gets that. Like I said earlier, I can't be too critical about this because this is just one of these sweet spots in games.
Yeah.
It looks so much better. It's cleaner. It's on a PlayStation 4 engine. You don't have to do the thing what you had to do in previous games where you have to wait ages to go in any shop. It all loads seamlessly. So it does that thing. The karaoke's still there.
Awesome.
Great. It's got brilliant mini games. The most annoying one is when you have to keep Haruto, which is the name of the baby, happy. And you got to shake the pad from left to right, up, down, scratch the touchpad to keep the baby happy. And sometimes that baby does not want it. He is not interested sometimes.
Yeah, but isn't that just like a real baby?
Yeah. But it's so inventive. It doesn't sit still. There's a micromanagement thing for a baseball team. You have to create your own clan. Be in a gang warfare, which is the opposite street gang. I mean, not Yakuza gang.
Yeah.
The opposite gang, which is run by Kazuchika Okada of New Japan fame, and there's also Hiroshi Tanahashi, Toru Yano, Tetsuya Naito, and a few others. I can't remember.
Okay, so is it basically you against New Japan Wrestling?
Yes. Which is great. It's a great detail. I absolutely adore it. So, like I said, I can't be critical about this. But to be critical about this is the best Yakuza's ever been. So, as the proverbial saying goes, I am like a pig in, fill in the blank.
No, don't.
Yeah. So, I have a major soft spot for this game. It's one of these games as well where play it twice and you get the most out of it.
I have to ask, is the adorable karaoke still in there?
Of course it is. I just mentioned that a few minutes ago, yeah. Karaoke is the sort of thing that is just mad. It's just the mad heart of this game. If you took the karaoke out of Yakuza, I don't think Yakuza would be that anymore. Oh, and also, just to reiterate an earlier mission, there's other side story in which Kazuya Kira, the lead character, I pronounce the name all the time. I get it wrong more and more each time I say it.
Yeah.
But there's a mission where he meets someone who introduces him to the idea of chat rooms, which is the act of chatting to a nubile young lady for money. And he's in love with the idea. That's interesting. I like that a lot. It's wonderful. You know, you can tell the enthusiasm in the way I'm describing this, but it's just pure bottled joy for me, so I can't say anything more than that.
Yes, and this is a man who smiled like a child when I gave him a little plastic monkey with symbols.
Yeah, that's a itch that was created by Yakuza, ladies and gentlemen. So yes.
You can trust his word on this.
Yeah. So yeah, if you like what I had to say, or if you got something to add to it, just comment below. But while you're here on the Geek Show channel, do give us a subscribe. But until next time, so don't play anything that we wouldn't play, and we'll see you next time here on the Geek Show.
Bye.
夢中で貫いた偽りのジャスティス握っていたはずの手はいつしかはぐれてた巡る季節刻む時計道をたがえた二人そうトゥナイ今夜もまたトゥナイため息つく一人きりじゃ上がけない思い出なトゥナイ近いのそうトゥナイ場所で待つよこんな夜はお前に会える気がして